This episode involves themes of unreality, grief, and loss. If this might disturb you or those around you, reconsider. It's okay. If you ever feel unsafe or suicidal, please call your local crisis center, emergency services, or national hotline. A link to an international list of crisis hotlines is listed in the description below. Remember, friends, you matter. You see the woods at night, and trees are flying past you, and you hear the footsteps of other people running off behind you, and you hear Dusk yelling to you to take Mala, run ahead, go, now! And you turn around, and you see that Mala is gone. You thought she was just here. She was right next to you a second ago. And the camera zooms out, and we see Dan standing alone in these woods. What do you do?
I weigh my options. I know I've got to go. I've got to get out of here. But I can't just leave Mala behind. I'm going to hastily whip up an attempt to sense which direction she went.
I'm just looking at your playbook real quick to see if any other moves that you have suit that. I'm
thinking offhand that old black magic to investigate a mystery, and I want to ask where did it go?
Yeah, that's perfect.
What do we get? 10. That's a full success. With trembling hands, I create a magic lens and douse for her sort of aura, her trail.
What you see with that 10, where did it go? You see the faintest glimmer of what you know Mala's aura to look like. And I'm just going to call an audible right here and say that it is kind of a crimson color. You see it like a really faded version of that also along the ground. With your normal eyes and your normal senses, you see that where she was standing previously, there are now drag marks. And there is also a large disruption in the sticks and the leaves that have formed the bed of this forest floor.
I want to more fully gauge the outcome of the encounter and look for any physical evidence. I'm going to ask what is being concealed here as I very quickly sift through all the upturned leaves and etc.
It doesn't take long for you to figure out and remember why it is that you're here in the first place. You know that the trail that would be made by something like this could only have come from a large snake, like the basilisk that you were here to hunt.
I'm going to look very briefly back and forth between the basilisk trail and the way out of the forest. Then I'm going to start charging down the basilisk trail and draw my knife.
You go running through this forest and you start to hear footsteps coming up alongside you. You see Mordecai come out from between the trees.
Oh, hey, what's up, man? What's going on?
Mordecai?
Where's Wall at?
Mordecai.
What happened?
That seems a little out of place.
Did you lose her?
Yeah, roll 2d6.
Yeah, you want to double check your notes there, Mr. Kingford?
Oh no. No,
Are you sure about that?
I'm sure. I'm
Okay.
sure. Roll 2d6 for me.
All right. / roll. That's a 9.
Okay, so on a 7+, you understand that this isn't correct. Mordecai wasn't here. That's wrong. What's going on? And so now I want you to roll 1d6 for me.
Even better. 3.
Where's Mala? What happened? Did you lose her?
And as that happens, you see a large snake's head come up from behind Mordecai's shoulder and then chomp down and pull him back into the darkness.
Dan isn't one who's prone to shrieking out, but I think this merits a good yelp. I'm going to burn everything, and I want to basically create a blast of rage in the basilisk's direction.
Yeah, what does it look like when you pop this off?
I've got my knife in my right hand. I see Mordecai get snatched, just straight up yoinked, and I reach out with my left hand with a dramatic cry. You know, normally my magic is pretty straight purple. This is just a blast of maroon flames, kind of like a Hadouken.
I mean, you just reel back and set forth this almost crimson-like fireball, essentially, into the darkness. You hear a screech and hear the sound of something landing heavily on the ground. When you run up on it, you can see Mord, and thankfully, he's unburned, and there is some scorched trees nearby, but nothing has caught fire.
Mordecai unburned. The situation is dire.
God fucking damn it.
Now I know it's a dream.
Oh, that's
anyway,
great.
you were saying about the landscape being fucking wildfiring.
Yeah. Thankfully, it hasn't caught, but
Okay.
there's like some cindering on the trees around. You see a basilisk that is scorched, and it looks like you killed it with that blow.
I'm gonna check on Mord. Has he been bitten?
Yeah, you can see Mord is like very clearly disheveled, and he is like holding his shoulder where he was bitten. There's a lot of blood pooling there from a pretty significant puncture wound.
Yo, that's not good. Okay, stay with me. Look at my eyes. Stay with me. Breathe in, breathe out. We're gonna get through this, okay? Don't talk. Focus on your breathing. Give me your hand. I'm gonna place it on my shoulder, and I'm gonna place a hand on the wound. And I'm gonna say, breathe in time with me. Just focus on your breathing. We're gonna get you out of this. Mordecai notices Dan's hand tremble a lot more than his calm voice betrays as I attempt to cast magic to draw the poison out.
On a 9. You choose a glitch.
I'll take 1 harm.
As this happens and as the magic flows out of you, you feel and see this purple pulsating moving between your hand and his shoulder and his hand and you. And kind of like cycling between the two of you, you see Mordecai's wound close up a bit as you feel noticeably more exhausted from this situation. But Mordecai is okay and stabilized for now.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
Anytime. Go Rams.
Go Go Rams. So where's Mala? What happened?
I don't know. I very briefly see just like a flashback of her getting snatched away. Shake my head and say, she went this way. You should go. You should get out of here. I'm going to point back in the other direction of the trail. You're fucked up. You need to take care of yourself, bro. Pop some jerky for the trail.
Yeah, so you tell him to like go rest up and take care of himself. And I think he takes the bit of Slim Jim that you're offering him. Now sponsored by Slim Jims. If only.
If only.
If only.
I would snap it to them so hard.
Snap it to them every day. Yeah, I think he would take a Slim Jim from you and take a bite out of it.
You know, I think you're right. I'll I'll head back to the cabin and try and see Dusk, and maybe we can get back together and see you soon. So, thanks, buddy. Go Rams.
Go fucking Rams.
Mordecai walks off and starts making his way back towards where you know they had been. You've kind of made a base in this forest during this hunt.
All right. As he starts walking off, I start carving this fucking basilisk. Specifically, I want to see if he ate the shit out of Mala. Now, venom is in the fangs. Yeah. So it's not going to be like I'm going to die from touching his blood. Unless he's magical and that happens. Which he is, and it might.
It comes down to the like central crux of like trying to solve a mystery in any fantasy setting, where if you think about it for too long, it's just like, oh, well, it could be fucking anything. I don't know. Like, oh, is it a beholder that has taken over the banks? Man, I don't fucking know. I live in a nightmare world.
This is hell. Anything could happen. Dan as a character is super analytical about his hunting. He ideally knows like as much as possible going in and then uses strengths and weaknesses to his advantage. And I think he definitely spent a lot of time being obsessive in his training about like memorization. I think that often FUBARs once that actually comes into practice, and that's something that I think we've sort of seen many times. But what he wants to do is know exactly what's going on and how to stop it, or what to do about it.
Roll investigate a mystery for me.
Full success. This is a good dream.
So what questions do you want to ask from this?
If it were read a bad situation, I'd say, what's my best way in?
to the snake. Gross.
What is being concealed here?
Basussy.
But I no longer want to know what is being concealed here. I'm just kidding. I still do.
Oh no. Yeah, with that, I think you take your knife and you carve open this basilisk and you try and kind of understand what's going on. And this is not an easy feat by any means. This is basically a 17-foot long, 3-foot diameter like snake. This is a big motherfucker, but you were able to take it with that burn everything. And what you find is you don't find much of anything, actually. You see the typical like viscera of dissecting a creature, and something not wholly unfamiliar to you, but as far as Mala or any indication of what's been going on right now, you don't see anything out of place. So the real answer to what is being concealed here is more what isn't being concealed here. This thing didn't eat her.
Huh. Well, I think that's a good sign. I would like to ask, where did it go, and find out if it went to the Christian hell?
Jason and Phil, the fucking theology major, is about to sit here and debate whether or not a fictional creature, one, has a soul, and two, went to heaven or hell because of that.
It's a magic snake, Jason.
Yeah, man, I don't... Because that necessarily, like... No, now I'm going to talk about it.
Cool.
You asked the question. You asked the question, now I'm going to talk about it, because fuck it.
And I do expect this to burn one of my hold, by the way.
If in this theory that, okay, we have a Christian hell, we're abiding by the Christian idea of like, okay, God created everything, therefore he made the basilisk. The notions and ideas and concept behind like, oh, magic is evil according to Christianity wouldn't fucking apply, because this is just how this thing is normally. It wouldn't be considered magical. It would just be what it is, which is a big fucking snake. Right?
Okay, a big like fucking magic snake.
No. False. Our understanding of magic is like, oh, well, that thing does some fucking weird shit, therefore it must be magic, is completely off base, because magic would have, like, necessarily has to be like, oh, people doing things that they shouldn't be able to. But if, like, this is literally how you are built, if you are physically fucking built different, that's not magic. That's fucking nature. That's Darwinism at its finest, my guy. And so now we are settled like, okay, it's not actually magical, so we're throwing like that pre-notion of like, oh, magic things go to hell, if that is even a concept, out the window. Now we are just left with, do snakes have souls?
Did the Christian Jesus die for this snake?
Do snakes have souls? Now we are just like simply back to like we are in an all dogs go to heaven situation.
All snakes go to a secret third thing. Snake hell.
Yeah, if they were
snake heaven now.
I'm fucking crying.
What did you expect the one-on-one between us to be? What did you think was going to happen? If not snake heaven now, what did you have in mind?
Exactly this. And I would change nothing about it. And you know I'm not taking this out. I just went on like a full like 3 or 4 minute monologue about world design. I'm not taking that out. That's staying in. That's in the final cut.
All right. I mean, you're the editor.
Hey everyone, thank you for the long wait. We're finally here, season 2. I hope you're enjoying the show. I am so excited to see you guys finally hear the reactions to this episode and what else is coming out after this. We have a ton of amazing things for you. Come join us on the Actual Place Discord server. I'll put a link to the description below. There are so many people to hang out with. Memester of the week, $2 creature feature, pest control, Thornvale, Shrimp and Crits, Dungeon and Pop. Just so many fantastic actual play podcasts that you can hang out with. You can join us over on Twitter or Blue Sky at MemsterOTWPod. And also, hey, I think by now all the episodes are uploading to YouTube also. So if you are a YouTube listener of podcasts, I know some people are, there you go. We exist there also now. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening to us. I also have a special treat for you. A new trailer for Season 2 of Shrimp and Crits. So please enjoy that, and then you'll get right back to the episode. See ya.
When you listen to Shrimp and Crits, you're getting TTRPG stories steeped in Southern charm.
Do you have somewhere to go, family?
Fear.
His eyes roll open, looking at you, and is saying, "Your fault! Your fault!"
Big laughs.
Ah, it's me, the hot doggler.
Romance.
I have a follow-up question. Can I kiss you?
I think Sarah would just pull her in.
And of course, dice rolls.
Holy shit, that's an 11 on the dice plus 1. It's a 12.
Yes.
Yes. What is it?
Yes.
If you like a show with a backlog, we have a completed 60-plus episode Monster of the Week campaign. If you prefer something that's a little easier to jump into, we have mini arcs like Arcadia and Whimsy World, which are each under 10 episodes. You can find Shrimp and Crits wherever you listen to podcasts. Find our social media through www.shrimpandcrits.com. And stay tuned for Skywaymen, our Ironsworn mini arc, which is coming soon.
Editor, I hardly know her. There we go. That'll get us back in the flow of things.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, now you've said the secret code. You've said the secret code, and boy, I wonder what Journey's thinking about right now.
Boy, I wonder what I'm thinking about right now.
The camera like tries to bounce away from Dan, and then like bounces off a tree, and then just goes back, and you're like, "Oh, whoa, fuck!" That was wildly disorienting.
Yeah, hits Dan in the face. I take one harm.
Well, so what you've discovered?
What I've discovered is that my friend isn't here.
Yeah, what you've
And
discovered
snakes probably don't go to heaven or hell.
You sit here for a little while as you carve through this basilisk, and you ponder the nature of the soul.
Just another day.
Just another day. Roll 2d6 for me.
Okay. A lot of improvised rolls this time. I love it.
It's a custom move.
Oh, fuck yeah. 11.
Yeah, okay, so on an 11, I think what happens here is you remember this. You remember this night. You remember the night that you lost Mala. Of course you do. But Mordecai wasn't here. And
Nope.
and you didn't burn a basilisk to death. You couldn't do that.
Hmm.
So what I want you to do right now is mark one experience.
Poggers.
And
I leveled up.
excellent. You're going to take one forward on your next roll for this. And I want you to roll a d4.
Wow. Not just improvising the rolls, but improvising the dice?
Yeah, different dice.
What is this pyramid scheme shit? 2 on the pyramid die.
Okay. As you look up from the carcass of this basilisk, you see a golden light cracking in the air between the trees. And the closer that you look into it, you almost see from above you. You're peering into this shattered piece in reality, and you're looking down into a dimly lit circular chamber. And you see the image of an eye that's been patterned on the floor of this room. And in the center of the room, seated in a chair by themselves, you see Dan. And across from you, you see 3 figures seated at a long desk, and the antique lamps that are hanging on the walls and sitting on the desk, covering this room in a soft orange light. There are 2 men and a woman. They're all covered in these robes that obscure their features and their clothing beneath. And they ask you about Ellendale. And they ask you about Cheddar Bay. And you present to them the sword that you found in Cheddar Bay, the treasure that they had asked for. But then they move back and they want to press you about Ellendale. And they say, no, Lazaret, we asked you to gather metal that was touched by spirits. Where is it?
Now this is a tough one. Well, the spirit had a gun. I don't remember finding it on the remains. There's a chance that it could still be in the cabin.
The cabin that you and your friends burned
The
down.
remains of the cabin. I'm sure the metal's probably salvageable.
Right. Of course. Well, Lazaret, thank you for your candor and for your briefing. You can go. And so you see 2 more people kind of walk up behind Dan as you're kind of taken at your shoulders. And you see one of them reach over. You see the tattoo on the back of their hand glow as they just very briefly touch the point where the bridge of your nose kind of meets your forehead. And a soft, dark violet glow comes over them. And you see it pass through your eyes very briefly. And then the crack in the world shuts. And you are back in the woods again. I think when you come back to, you see that crack in the world shut in front of you. And you hear a scream.
Dan? Dan!
I run towards it.
Dan, we can't find Mordecai, and where's Mala? She was with you. Did you lose her?
I don't like this. Chrissy, wake up. I don't like this.
Where's Mala? Did you lose her?
She went this way. I'm following her.
Yes, good. Let's go acquire the girl.
Palmer quickly follows after you.
I took out the basilisk, but I don't know that there aren't more dangers out here. You guys would probably be safer back with Mordecai. And Jason, you don't have to listen to me. But Dan,
no, I don't.
Kind of is uncomfortable roping other people into this weird folding of reality. And also sometimes prefers to work alone.
Yeah, absolutely. I think both the journey and Palmer's reactions to this are and similar. In the way that Palmer kind of questions, like,
So you're telling me that you lost your friend, but you don't want your stronger friend's help going and finding them.
and Journey pipes up and says, like,
But Dan, we never would have been in this situation in the first place if it weren't for you.
And that's why I'm going to fix it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why you're here. I'm strong enough on my own. 2d6?
manipulate someone.
Oh, manipulate someone. Okay.
But you do get a 1, and it added 1 forward from your previous roll.
That's right. What the fuck? That's a 4. How did 1 plus 1? Okay, 1 plus 3 minus 1 plus 1. Okay, 4.
That's rough, buddy.
Marking another experience.
Yeah, I think. Whew. I'm going to take a hard move on you emotionally.
Of course you think that you're strong enough to do this by yourself. Of course you would. Why wouldn't you be? Just remember that I left her in your care and not anyone else's.
And with that, Palmer takes Journey by the shoulder and poofs away.
There's a split second where Dan almost like lets anger take over again. He almost sort of lashes out again, and you see like not like in Journey's direction, just sort of in his hand pointed down at the ground, just like a single maroon spark. Then he remembers that he still has his silver knife out, wipes the blood from it, and then sheathes it. Or I guess we never resolved this, but I sort of envisioned part of the blood toll on it would be that the hilt sort of absorbs blood as the thing that allows you to sheathe it again. So I'm not going to wipe the blood off. I'm just going to sheathe it.
Oh, that's fascinating, metal as hell, and I love it.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's like a sizzle as he puts it in.
Yeah, as this happens, I think you start to hear rustling in the woods behind you.
I produce my gun from my pocket and point it in the direction and take a couple of steps back.
Roll act under pressure for me.
Got it. That's a 12.
Yeah, I think as you take these steps back, you hear the movement shift, and you are able to jump out of the way just in time for this basilisk to come flying out of the space between the trees at you.
Excellent.
And just narrowly miss and crash into the ground right where you were standing a second before.
Well, fuck. God damn it.
It swerves around and starts to kind of coil around the area and then rears up in front of you.
I'm going to keep my my eyes trained on my gun.
Yeah, roll plus cool for me, because this is part of its custom moves.
Yep. Plus cool. That's a 10.
Ooh, okay, yeah, you avoid its gaze and you take +1 forward.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm not looking past the iron sights on this. And I want to, sort of using my peripheral foggy vision as a guide, take 2 shots at its eyes.
Yeah, roll kick some ass.
It's 1 forward. That's a full success.
Oh my fucking god,
this
dude.
is a good dream.
This is
better.
This is a great dream. How much harm does your gun do?
It does 2 harm. Hand close, reload loud.
And do you have advanced on kick some ass?
Yes, I do. So, as the advanced part of it, I mean, what I want to do is drive it away. I want to fucking temporarily blind it and cause it to leave me alone for a fucking second.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you get from this. This thing was like, yum yum yum. This nice little snack that I have in the woods all by itself, perfect. And it fucked around and it fucking found out. You you masterfully like notice, okay, its eyes are up there, it's trying to look at me. I'm not gonna fucking fall for that. And you take 2 clean pot shots at both of its eyes, sending bullets right through the back of its head. And it is like, no, I would really rather not. This is not worth it. And immediately reels back and kind of twists back over itself to run away and try and get out of there as quickly as it can.
Excellent. Do I have to sort of avoid, because it's coiled around me? Is that an obstacle for me?
I think with like such a series of amazing rolls, because you just rolled a 12, a 10, and a 12. I think that this is going to be no problem for you. I think you're able to very easily like watch for the tail and
duck and roll.
Yeah, get out of there.
Yeah. Tight. I'm going to keep note of which direction it went and then focus back on Mala's trail.
Yeah, as you do this, can you roll 2d6 for me again?
I would love to. Not to be like... I feel like this entire adventure, you've been saying, here's a thing to do. And I've been like, fuck you, no! Not to be like that, but that's just Dan, baby.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I mean, like, that's part of what this is meant to do, is to kind of see, like, okay, what are the prompts for what happens next?
Yeah.
So
7 on the 2d6. Yeah.
Once again, you know that what just happened was wrong. Something about that was off. It felt amazing and powerful. But you know that's not how this happened. You can't understand why. Roll a d6 for me.
I'd love to. 3. Again.
On that 3, like, the camera comes and like zooms in on Dan's face as he's flooded with these memories, and knowing that this is not how this went, and reflected in his eyes, you see the fire that the basilisk emits, and you see Dusk get frozen in his tracks from the basilisk's gaze and just barely being able to get him out. And you remember that this is not how this went. And the world reshapes itself around you until you are standing in front of a large, gnarled oak tree with massive spaces between its roots. And you see a deep, dark burrow leading into the ground. And just in front of you, you see another crack in the world of golden light start to open up in front of you.
Not this bitch again. How recent was the last crack that I saw? From what I remember. Or am I not sure in this sort of like haze, in this weird liminal space?
Yeah, I don't know how aware of that you are. These are more just impressions that are kind of happening to you as this goes on. And you're not fully aware of like what is correct or not.
Here's what I think Dan does. I don't think he wants to gaze into the crack in reality. I think he's seen enough. And the last time it wasn't something he particularly wanted to relive. And he knows or suspects that he's going into a basilisk's lair. So I think what he's going to do now, he's going to do the unthinkable. And he's going to rip a strip of cloth off of his Yellowstone hoodie. He's going to rub his finger over it, his 2 fingers, and say a quick incantation, and tie it as a blindfold across his face. And attempt to open up his third eye to allow him to use his other senses to get around without relying on sight, so that he doesn't have to narrow it down to like a life or death moment of, can I control my reflexes not to look at this thing's eyes again? I think in doing that, if it works, which you can adjudicate as you wish, he can't escape hearing whatever's in the crack in reality.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, first let's roll use magic.
Yeah. Good old fashioned.
Because like,
that's an 11.
Hell.
I think Dan has come to a conclusion. This is based off of events, but he is convinced that it is a dream or hallucination or some sort of like illusion, definitely. And things have been too easy so far. Significantly too easy. And he's barely taken a scrape. So he's like, no, I'm in control of this. I can bend this world to my will. So that's just sort of where Dan's at right now. And he's also thinking, if I can bend this world to my will, maybe this time I can save her. Or get her out. Or at least find her.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, you are basically doing something beyond human limitations in that you are becoming Daredevil.
I'm freeballing use magic as I am wont to do.
Hey man, that option is listed there for the very specific reason of fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
And it is, if not the spirit of the game itself, at the very least the spirit of our campaign to embrace that fully.
You're right.
I think what happens when you pass this by, as you are moving away from that crack and down into the burrow, you still can hear things coming from it, but it sounds so far away.
Echoing like a conversation from the other end of a hallway.
Exactly that. And you hear someone say, "It's getting dangerous. The boy ever learns what his true purpose is, then simply distract him, Tyrigan. He's a hormonal boy in his early 20s. It shouldn't be hard. Just loosen your reins for a second. Let him go off to his little college. Keep him out of my library. When we need him, we can always bring your voice back into the fold. And you hear that echo in your ears as you move down into these depths. As you move down into this, what is ostensibly a large hole underneath these branches, underneath these roots, you feel pressing on the walls around you how smooth the dirt has been packed in by things just grinding away and making the path clear over time. And occasionally your foot is caught on a loose root or something that has come away as you make your way deeper into these depths. And I want to ask, what are you looking for here? What does Dan really want right now?
Dan wants to find Mala and wants to ask her not to leave.
Okay. I think what happens is you get deeper into this area and you stop because you step on something wet.
I'm gonna stoop down slowly, dip my finger in it, and sort of rub it to feel the texture.
Thick?
I'm gonna smell it.
It smells of iron.
I know it's blood,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna touch just a little bit to my tongue.
Yeah, it tastes like blood. I don't know what the fuck you want me to say.
I don't know. I'm just giving you prompts to sensorily describe, that red gamer juice.
Don't ever fucking say that to me ever again.
Yeah, I'm gonna wipe it on my jeans.
Oh, that's not coming on.
Also, spit the blood out of my mouth. Takes me way too long to get rid of the taste. Now, did it taste like basilisk blood or blood of a friend?
Okay, so now you're out here asking stupid fucking questions again. Because how the fuck do you know the difference?
I have one more hold of investigative mystery.
Fair enough.
Actually, I would like to use that if possible.
No, of course.
Yeah.
As aggressive as I sound about it, yeah, please.
I'm going back and forth between what happened here and what is being concealed here. I think I'm going to do what is being concealed here.
I think knowing what's happening and remembering what has happened here, you know that you're in the right place. You know that this is the den where you were supposed to kill this thing and leave happily with Mala and Dusk. You know that that's not what happened. What is being concealed here is you can tell from a breath in the air that you are now on the edge of a large circular den where these basilisks have been sleeping. And from the soft crying that you hear, you know that Mala is across the room from you.
I'm going to whisper, Mala.
Dan?
Carefully, quietly, this way.
Oh. Okay. And you hear a kind of shuffling along the ground. And after a few minutes, you feel Mala's warmth next to you. I've lost a lot of blood. But I'm here.
Give me your hand for a second.
Of course. And she takes your hand.
I'm going to do the thing I did earlier with Mordecai. I'm going to say, can you lead my hand to where you got injured? Although Dan suspects he already knows.
She winces at that a bit, and then accepts and leads your hand down her arm to her elbow. And you don't feel anything beyond that.
I kind of hoped it wouldn't play out this way this time, but I'm going to swallow hard. And I'm going to say, breathe with me, we'll stop the bleeding.
Of course.
And I'm going to try to use some magic.
Yeah, roll it.
Piece of cake. I'm in control of this world. I can bend it to my will. That's a 13.
Holy shit. You have an advanced success on use magic also, so it gives you an added benefit, yeah?
Yeah, the keeper may confer me some added benefit.
Yeah, I think what happens here, because this is an especially grievous wound, Mala, for a brief second, the magic of this is cauterizing her wound. And instinctually she wants to cry out, but instead bites down into the shoulder of your hoodie and just grips it tight for a second, and then releases it as the magic stabilizes her and restores her a little bit. Thank you.
I'm gonna awkwardly give her a hug.
She's very softly, crying.
There's better places to cry than here. Come on. This way.
Act under pressure for me.
Is it due to a monster?
Yes.
Then I can roll weird. Wait, is it a monster, a phenomenon, or a mystical effect?
Yes.
Okay. That's a 10. How many non-full successes have I had?
Very fucking few. Holy shit.
Kono sekai no kami da!
Yeah. Dan, you are able to take this nightmare that you've had for years and turn it into a dream as you lead Mala up and out of the burrow
Second we're out, I'm taking the blindfold off.
And Mala looks at you and just laughs and says, That's clever. Thank you. Those things are still in there.
Fuck it. We're getting out of here. I'm gonna, less awkwardly this time, go in for another hug. This time a bit tighter. And this time, Dan is gonna break just a little bit. And you hear just a single sniffle. And he's gonna wipe his face with the sleeve of his hoodie. I'm gonna say, come on, let's go.
Okay, yeah, let's go. And you guys start walking back through the woods together. And Mala asks, and you did so much for me now. Why couldn't you have done that in Oakdale? You let that man take me again. As you hear her say that, you see these raven wings, these dark black feathers fall around her in a storm and engulf her, and she's gone again. And as that happens, act under pressure for me.
That's a full success.
Fucker. Yeah, as that happens, and you see Mala in front of you, and she asks you this question, and it freezes you for a second. And those feathers fall away. You see it coming. The head of this massive basilisk pushing forward through that shroud at you, and you are able to just barely get out of the way as it starts to wind itself around where you are and try and strike at you.
I'm having a hard time processing this at the moment. It's getting a bit hard to see through the tears starting to well in his eyes. So I'm going to go area over accuracy, and I am going to actually burn everything. And by that I mean I'm going to start fanning flames just in the general direction of the basilisk, just maroon flamethrower, hardly even turning to look.
Yeah, roll it.
Oh, that's a mixed success, huh?
There you go.
That's an 8.
What is your glitch?
I take 1 harm.
Okay, yeah, you're going to take 1 harm as the fire that you are pouring out of your palm has some blowback on you. And you feel this residual heat. I think a part of your hoodie starts to burn away from the sleeve as your magic kind of pours away from you. And at the same time as this happens, the basilisk kind of dodges around your fire just a bit and takes it to the broadside as it comes in and will bite you for 2 harm.
All right.
And so how much harm
unstable.
Does burn everything do?
Burn everything does 3 harm area magic obvious, or 3 harm ignore armor magic obvious, but I'm going with area this time.
Nice.
It's not the Hadouken.
Nice. Yeah, I think what happens is you catch it on its broadside, so it doesn't affect the basilisk as strongly as you would like. and it comes in and gets that good bite on you.
Excellent. Nothing like a blightworm fucking venom bite.
Yeah. As this happens, it bites down and picks you up and kind of swings you, and it will throw you into a tree as it prepares to make its next attack.
I continue burning everything. Me seeing this, like, I don't believe this world is real. I can't accept that. So I am destroying it. I am sort of aiming this at the basilisk, but I'm aiming it as much at the basilisk as I am at literally everything else I see. I just want to take this whole forest down in flames, fucking corn maze style. I'm the god of this world, and this world has displeased me.
Roll your use magic.
That's a full success.
As this happens, as this situation repeats, I think that's exactly what it does. It repeats, and it repeats, and it repeats, and for a while, Dan and this basilisk are caught in this loop of you burning down the world around you. And it rises up, and it strikes at you and takes the things that you love away from you. It rips away at your hoodie, leaving the armor barren underneath. It snatches the gun from you and whips it out of your hand with its tail. It crushes your arm beneath its fangs, and you feel poison seeping into your body, but you keep persisting. And you burn down the world around you until nothing is left except for a crack of light forming out of the corpse of this basilisk.
I'm going to start blasting flame at the light. I don't think it does anything.
It remains immovable.
At this point, I'm yelling to try and drown out the noise of what I don't want to hear.
With each blast of magic and the voices of your friends calling to you and blaming you and saying, Dan, why did you do this to us? Why did you put us in these situations? We could have been safe. We could have been better, but you did these things to us. This crack of light expands and looms over you, and you see maps. You see hundreds of maps with lines that are drawn and erased and redrawn as cartographers struggle to make sense of the world. You see a similar soft golden glow echoing off these lines. And then you zoom out and you see the earth itself. Beautiful marble of blue oceans and clouds and brown and green land masses. And you see spider webbing across it, this misformed, misshapen net of gold, widening and thinning and crisscrossing lines covering this world. Golden lines inlaid into this world like a once broken piece of pottery. And then this vision cracks and falls down around you. And as that happens, you see the corpse of this basilisk rising up again. to continue its fight with you. But now, there's feathers starting to plume out from the crown of its head. And you see wings bursting out of the side of this snake as it flaps and raises itself up, looming above you and opening its massive jaw. And from the firelight, you would expect to see a large shadow, but you don't. You see the long shadow of a woman being cast on the forest floor as this once basilisk starts to sprout more and more heads. And the last thing you see is the gleam of its yellow eyes as it lunges down to swallow you whole. And you wake up.